Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. It's been a little while since I've uploaded a video, probably like 3-4 months. Aside from obviously this whole Rona situation, and I hope everyone's doing okay there. I was in a car accident. I had all these things happen, and good and bad, and everything actually turned out really well, so yay. But it's definitely been a very weird year, but this is going to be a twin flame video, so welcome to all my twin flames. If you've ever seen any of my other videos on twin flames, I really like to stress the importance of taking this journey for yourself, maybe as much as the other person, maybe more. I really feel like there is a huge misconception and a huge negativity in this community of what could be all of these light workers in sort of different shapes and sizes and here for different missions and reasons, and it seems to me almost convenient to round them all up and anger them, or round them all up and make them upset, or just round them all up in general and have them kind of stuck on the path instead of moving forward. So if you're tuned into this channel, I want to help. I don't read tarot to find out what Tom, Dick, and Harry are doing. You can't control Tom, Dick, and Harry. Leave them alone. It might be hard. I got obsessed with videos a few years ago where it was I couldn't consume them fast enough. And I hate to tell you, but especially when you're doing YouTube, we're pulling from an energy, and when you have that much energy all feeling the same way, all kind of like, is it a coincidence that everyone's going through the same thing? Well, no, of course not. Like, you know what I mean? You're brought there for a reason, but is it in anybody's best interest to continue down that path? No. If you're on this journey and this resonates with you, as of today, and take the steps you need, you're your own boss. If you're not with your partner and not you guys are not together, I want you to do your absolute best to leave that alone. That means anybody involved, that means don't look up, that means don't go on social media, that means every time you start thinking about it, purposely, consciously choose to go and do something else. If you can make a small step in this journey by just making it about yourself and not anybody else, that will be the start to the change of your life. I would never ever make claims that like, oh, if you do this, this is going to happen, if you do this, that's going to happen, but I speak from personal experience. At some point, your faith in both yourself and whatever else needs to be strong enough to get you through that sort of really rough patch. Because having these things at our fingertips, having Facebook and having ways to spy on people, and people that are literally spying on people, I mean, it becomes obsessive, it becomes dark, it becomes you sitting there fucking blah, 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 blah. And believe me, you're not healing yourself in any way. You're no closer to getting back with anybody. You're off as far as you can be at that point. And if that sounds like I don't mean it to, I don't know, I feel like I just somebody just went, fuck you. I want to hear what she's doing. But you know what, honestly, it's not gonna, it doesn't help you in any way because you can't control what she's doing. So all that's happening is this bitch is like running your life right now because now you're just worried about what she's doing. Like, you're good enough to just worry about you. Like, don't give anyone else the time of day. And if you do think of them, wish them well. I know that sounds funny, but I wish the people that really don't like me, I wish them like nothing but happiness, because happy people, they don't bother other people. When people are content with their lives, they don't feel the need to go after somebody else. These people are the bored, sick, they're not healthy in that sense, right? So let's see, for our twin flames, so we'll do 2, okay, for DM, and here I'll show you. We got changed in the night. Ooh, you have changed quickly, and keep your temper. Don't allow anger to rule you. Very interesting cards. My heart just, okay. You changed in the night, you changed quickly. So that's kind of my specialty. I think if you're not learning and growing in life, like, what are you doing? I guess that's just my perspective, but like, I want to be a better person. I want to do better than I did yesterday. I don't want negativity in my life. I don't want people who are negative in my life. I genuinely just feel like if you have a problem with me, it's yours, because I probably almost guaranteed, don't think like, not in a, like, you know, but here we go. So for our DFs, we have a moment's regret, nostalgia, idealizing the past, fearing you've made a mistake, and nature communication, flower energies, fairy energies, and elemental messages. Very pretty cards. Very pretty cards. I always find it funny when, and I mean, the cards probably look similar anyways, but you see how, oops, this way. It's, you've got the one girl and then the close-up. Anyways. Okay, who shall we start with? I guess we'll start over here with our Divine Masculine. Now, if you are the Divine Masculine, if you're a Divine Masculine watching, you are held in a standard that is above, not in a cocky way and not in like a misused kind of power way, but you are viewed as a cut above. It doesn't make you a bad person to have made mistakes in your life. It doesn't make you a bad person to, you know, reach these moments where you're stuck and you don't know what to do. But what makes you know, a bad person or a bad situation is consciously choosing to oh, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Don't choose to hurt people. Like, it is 10 times more in your power specifically. You have it in you to be, you know, braver than most people. You have it in you to, I mean, I don't want to put like stereotypes because I think that's unfair, but like, command a room. Like, you have that ability in you. You also have the ability to obviously, you know, be a lying, cheating, blah, blah, blah. When I see the changed in the night, you've changed quickly, and the butterflies and then the keep your temper, don't allow anger to rule you. I see it as a positive message, and it makes me feel that I really am talking to like divine males, because it takes more than anybody will ever realize to make a real actual change, and not a lot of people are capable of it, of real true change. The energy that I'm getting here is real true change. And I also, like, at the same time, it's like exciting but scary. And I mean, isn't that any like big, you know, thing in life? Anyways, let me read the card. So I'll start with keep your temper. Don't allow anger to rule you. Come back, the caterpillar called after her. I've something important to say. This sounded promising, certainly. Alice turned and came back again. "Keep your temper," said the caterpillar. "Is that all?" said Alice, swallowing down her anger as well as she could. When Alice is confronted by so many strangeness, so much that is unlike what she is used to, and even her own self is changing this way and that, she finds herself running very short of patience. Indeed, she starts to become angry. When we are thrown this way and that by life, uncertain of what will happen next, and there are no straight answers to our questions, our tempers can begin to fray about the edges. We may become irritable, short, and less patient than we would have when all is familiar and comfortable. The caterpillar's advice to Alice is very good counsel indeed. For Alice to make her way through Wonderland, and for any of us to make our way through life, we must be wary of our temper taking over our good sense. It's natural that Alice is feeling out of sorts. She is contending with the uncertainty of her size and the loss of the sense of self she has relied upon all her young life. She needs help, but to get help, she must be patient with the caterpillar's slowness. Cheshire? I can't say it. The cat's nonsense, a rabbit that doesn't see her for who she is, and even more curiousness. If Alice reacts and grows angry at the creatures within Wonderland, she may never make her way through to the other side. This is not to say that anger is wrong or unnatural, but when we are seeking the help of others, it is best not to get angry if they do things a little differently. Acknowledge your irritation quietly to yourself. Do not deny your response, but know it is important for you to continue to find ways to communicate with those about you. Growing angry with them would serve no purpose at all, except to make you more lost and isolated than ever. So the divination is being pushed, running out of patience, feeling like people about you are not, so around you are not cooperative, invasive companions, and bothersome circumstances. The need to keep your temper cool and in check. Remind yourself you will go far further when you harness your power and use it at the right time, which is, by the way, not now. Dude, listen, if there's anybody that can tell you about anger, it's me. You know, it's for me, it's not so much anger. I think I have a very, you know, I ride that line of aggressive and assertive. And as it says here, so it says, remind yourself you will go further when you harness your power and use it at the right time. That is a secret to life that if you took now would change literally your whole life, like literally. You know, emotions are a powerful, powerful thing. And being able to control that is a very powerful, powerful tool. Anger especially, there's a saying that you should always be nice to somebody, because once you get angry at them, that's what they see you as, and you can't take it back. And I guess this is true to some sense. Life's not always fair, and sometimes in life, just because it's not fair, or just because somebody else was wrong, it doesn't justify you being as wrong. It doesn't justify lashing out. Because I'm going through something doesn't mean I get to take it out on you. And that can be hard. You know, there's the saying, you know, oh, what is it? We take it out on the people that we love. First of all, we need to stop saying, like, because he's a guy, or because he's that. Like, the more excuses you give people, the more that they'll take them. Like, of course, yeah, I'm a guy. Like, what are you talking about? Like, okay, what? No, like, no, no, no. You are capable of much more than you give yourself credit for. And if you're gonna, you know, call yourself a divine masculine, well then, Mr. Divine Masculine, you know, having control over yourself is something that will something that will definitely bless you in the future. I know that in life right now, you know, there's so much going on, and yet around us, and yet there's almost this sense of like stagnation, like knowing that the door's open at the zoo, but if you run you'll get shot. It's like a tease. I don't know, that just came to my mind. But like, there are moments in life that just inevitably suck, and anger is not a bad thing. It's, first of all, it's a natural thing, so honing it is the natural thing to do. And your anger can actually be used for you as long as you unleash it in the proper way and at the right time. If you're being pushed right now, really, really, really try not to, you know, don't get into debates. Don't have those heavy conversations right now, you know. Never think that there are no shortcuts in life. So don't try to play the system by, oh, if I could cause that, like, don't purposely see. You have to understand the universe, right? Like, it's intention, it's action and reaction, and purposely starting a fight, or, you know, purposely having this like ulterior motive. Like, I don't know why, but those are things that are coming to my head, though it seems like the best way in the moment. In fact, it's not. It will get you out of where you need to go, but it's a temporary solution. It ends up hurting you more in the long run. And you don't get to step into the man that you are. And the people around you don't get to see you step into the man that you are. And that is somebody that is capable of rising above a situation placed in front of him when it seems impossible to do so. Yeah, just well, something that stuck out, it says at the bottom here, it says feeling entitled to express emotions without thought of consequences. So I've definitely been in that energy before. Like, I'm hurt, I'm gonna say whatever I want, and I've hurt people probably worse with my words than why. Never really hurt. But you know what I mean? Like, words stick with you for a long time, and long after you forget about them, those knives can stick out. I feel like that's really important, that to stand in your power means to stand in your power. So I don't know, I just felt like a battle, like somebody putting gear on. It's like, are you gonna put the gear on and then slip out the back door, or are you gonna put the gear on and, you know, fight, I guess, but not fight, but keep your temper in check. Okay, the next one is changed in the night. You have changed quickly. I don't know why every time I pick this card up I'm like, ooh. You have changed quickly. Dear, how queer everything is today, and yesterday things went on just as usual. I wonder if I've been changed in the night. Sometimes we change slowly. A little change here, a small adjustment there, tiny shifts day by day, and over time we grow into a very different version of ourselves. But at other times we feel like we've been changed in the night. One day might suddenly, without any warning at all, be very clear indeed. For Alice, and perhaps for you when you receive this card, there is a sense that so very much has changed in an instant, that the world has quite suddenly been turned upside down, or right side up. And we have not had a moment to grow used to this new reality, the way we are now, or the rules of the world we find ourselves inhabiting. When a time like this comes, we can be in shock, a little numb, and have trouble finding our way back to the center of ourselves. If you feel like you may have been changed in the night, that your life has changed quite dramatically, quite suddenly, then take a moment. Remember your values, your feelings, yourself. Look about you. Steady yourself and breathe in deep. You've been rocked, and your sense of self and of reality is going to take a little time to resettle. Continue to connect with your core self. Be good to you and take it easy, but steadily. Remember, you are finding out who you truly are. Until this moment, you only knew who you could be when faced with certain predictable circumstances. Now that so much has changed, you will find out so much more about yourself, and in time, this will enrich you so very much. So the divination is sudden unexpected change, a shock, unexpected news, adjusting to a new situation, finding out more about who you are, inexperience and uncertainty, and an identity crisis due to changed circumstances. Well, I can see why all of that might make you a little angry. Whew. Right? I'm just going to show you the cards again. Wow. So, I need to add in at the end there. So while this is about making sudden and you know, these shocking changes, there's also, I guess, the reverse side of it. It did not come reversed, but I do feel the need to say, it says feeling you're not growing as a person, or that you have stayed the same for a very long time. You may be looking at introducing some new and exciting challenges into your life to help you grow and discover more about all the wonderful selves you have within you. Like, I just like, look, most people will stay the same in their life. They're never going to look at what they've, you know, accomplished, what they could, you know, dreams died when they, you know, hold on one sec, sorry. I don't know what I was saying. But anyways, yeah, so for the DM, obviously, you know, I mean, change is always going to happen in life. That is a given. Let that change be you, because that's an investment that's going to keep on giving, and it's going to give for the rest of your life. No, don't, buddy. For DM, we'll see what's on bottom of the deck for you is clock time. So time, pressure, and a rush. So it's that same keep your temper, change the night, and now clock time. Clock time. Time, pressure, and a rush. Oh, my ears and whiskers, how late it's getting. So it's a time of stress and added workload, increased responsibility, feeling it is too late to pursue your dreams, feeling pushed to complete too many tasks, an inability to say no, insufficient support, the urge to rush. This could be a time of dynamic opportunity, but you must take charge of your own workload and do what must be done. It is time for one last push. So it says, even though it is true that you must meet a deadline, you must take a moment to slow down so you can attend to your responsibilities. You are in the midst of a whirlwind. Be the calm in the eye of the storm. Put to rest the urge to worry, to fret, to rush until your work is done, and the need to impress those you wish to please. Work carefully, clearly, and with focus and intent. See a sunrise, bathe in moonlight, notice the leaves changing color, and you will work faster than if you hurry and get caught up in worry. Shh, guys. There's no need to rush. Just look as if you are taking your work as seriously as it deserves. Pull back, stay calm, have a plan, and stick to it, and all will be well. Yeah, that's my babies. Anyways, so DM, it looks like right now it's a lot of going within and finding those, you know, there might be things you've never done before. It might be parts of yourself that you haven't discovered. And if it's the opposite, where you feel like, you know, you're not growing and you've been here for so long, that's actually the start of growth. It's just by questioning the fact that you want to be different, that something could be different. Yeah, be brave, stay strong, don't get mad. We'll move over here to our DF. So we have nature communication, which is flower energies, fairy energies, and elemental messages. So, oh, Tiger Lily, said Alice, addressing herself to one that was waving gracefully about in the wind. I wish you could talk. We can talk, said the tiger lily, when there's anybody worth talking to. With this card, Alice thinks that because the flowers are, well, flowers, that they cannot speak, reason, or communicate. They are not like her, and therefore she thinks they cannot even understand or connect with her. Alice assumes the same applies in the opposite direction, but to her surprise, the flowers in the world through the looking glass can speak. And they are very critical, very picky, and very aware of their choices. While they also make assumptions thinking Alice to be a flower like them, yet unlike them, they reveal that most of the time they do not speak because they feel there simply isn't anybody worth talking to. God, I feel that. Alice then realizes the flowers have recognized her as someone worth talking to. Perhaps because she has praised their beauty and simply wished to be able to communicate. She also she also has humility and a desire to understand. When this card comes to you, do not make assumptions about people, creatures, or beings who seem too different for you to communicate with. There's always a way to bridge the gap between us. If you request for these beings to speak with you and stay open to that possibility, there will be communication. This is especially important when working with the plant kingdom. Trees and flowers, elementals, and fairy energy. So be a person worth communicating with. Open your heart, mind, and express your desire. In that way, new bonds and cords of understanding can grow between the human world and the wonders all around us. So the divination is, you are being asked not to make assumptions. Be open to possibilities that seem to be outside rational expectation. Attempts to communicate with beings from other realms within nature, spiritual planes, or even just humans, it is thought there is no chance of speaking to or being understood by. Be open and express the desire for communication. Be more lateral and less literal about the way communication can take place. Be a being worth communicating with. This will go far. I kind of feel like I know exactly what those flowers mean because I don't really talk to a lot of people, and so I guess I really value somebody that I can just spill, any thought that comes into my head, and I'm lucky enough to have somebody like that in my life, and I just feel like recognize those people in your life, both as the person that feels that way, but also as the person, like recognize that somebody sees you as somebody worth talking to. Sometimes we get so wrapped up in life that we forget about the magic and the things that, we stopped believing in when we were kids. And in this particular situation, for this particular card, it's saying that a plant isn't just a plant. There's so much around us all the time. And if you're open to the possibility of, communicating, that communication can absolutely happen for you. Oh, hold on one sec. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so nature communication, I'm not sure what I was just saying, but, I think that it's not just being somebody that's worth talking to, but also somebody that is worth coming to talk to, We sometimes tend to judge without ever knowing, maybe we assume that they won't understand us, or that they're just gonna blah blah blah. And so this card is saying, don't make those assumptions. That if you're willing to be open to communication in whatever form that is for you, it will be there for you. I don't know if that sort of sums it up, but I'm going to read this other card. It's a moment's regret. Nostalgia, idealizing the past, fearing you've made a mistake. So, it was much pleasanter at home, thought poor Alice, when one wasn't always growing larger and smaller and being ordered about by mice and rabbits. I almost wish I hadn't gone down that rabbit hole, and yet, it's rather curious, you know, this sort of life. I kind of get that. When we make life changes and take large steps into the unknown, it is perfectly natural to have a moment or two when we wonder whether we have made a serious mistake. When this card comes to you, it shines a light on the doubts you are having and asks you to accept these uncertainties as part of the process of change. You are so very far away from where you once were, but you still have no clear idea of exactly where your path will take you. You are filled with uncertainty. Instead of allowing dread to fill your mind, live as if your life is a great adventure. Understand that as you change, there will be many ups and some downs too. It is not in your best interest to judge yourself too harshly. Instead, anchor yourself firmly in the present moment and allow any regret and nostalgia for your comfortable past to wash over you. Let it flow on by. You are on a remarkable journey of change. It is one that will lead to wisdom, experience, and adventure. You have made a wonderful choice, so take heart in knowing that all change creates waves and disruption. Do not make more of your misgivings than they are. They are the natural consequences of bravely stepping out of your comfort zone. So the divination is second-guessing your decisions, berating yourself for the choices you have made, feeling regretful and missing what was, nostalgia, living in the past, a focus on what was wrong or what could still go wrong. So I know this very well, and I came to a realization years ago, and it's basically, it's the butterfly effect. If even one thing in my life had been different, who's to say that I would still be the same as I am today? And, well, I kind of fucking like her. You know, to get to the top of the mountain, you've got to climb it. And it's not for the weak. It's a journey, you know, it's a constant. It's natural to feel like, if I had only, you know, that there's a right thing you could have said or done, and that your life would somehow be in a better position, or, you know, it's hard not to live life with regret. And I think somewhere along the line, I just decided that, how do I put it? This is my life to live, and your soul sometimes just gets a calling, and, well, I don't know that everyone's soul does, and I just feel like I would rather risk it all for the possibility of this, you know, future, or this adventure, or this, you know, this new chapter of life, because that's what life is, right? I mean, isn't it? It's certainly not, what, going to work and getting paid and, like, I don't know, I don't even know, like, is the payoff, I guess, like, heaven, if you believe in, that's one to think about for sure. I'm gonna have to circle back to that. Anyway, so, yeah, and a lot of times, too, we tend to idealize the past. I can remember specific moments of crying and saying, please, God, get me out, like, I will do, and then also crying and being like, oh, I wish I was there. You know, I think it's natural, and whether it is or isn't, it's natural for you, and that's all that matters. Like, don't compare yourself to somebody else. It'll never favor well, and it's just, it's not you. So you have to take your journey, which means you have to forgive yourself. That means that you're not going to be moving as quick as everyone else. It might seem like you're, you know, so I'm going to read the reversal just because for some reason I kind of felt like I should for both. but it's forging ahead without reflection, an inability to marry the past, the present, and the future, no thinking back, a lack of attachment to what once was, the refusal to remember, seeing nostalgia as sentimental and foolish, a focus on the future and lack of appreciation for what was good about the past. So I guess on the opposite of sort of glorifying everything would be, you know, not remembering that there were good times and the bad, and that's the thing, right? Being as realistic with yourself as possible is going to keep you as honest with yourself as you can be. I mean, when shit hits the fan and you see it all over the walls, I mean, that could be the image that you have of that room for the rest of your life. Or you could remember when it was nicely decorated before that. You know what I mean? Like, your mind is a powerful tool, and it's going to do what you guide it to do. So if you're consciously always trying to evolve in some way, then nothing's really a setback, if that makes sense. Bottom of the deck for DF is mortality. So life is brief, bright, beautiful, and yours to live. I'm going to say that's probably going to tie right in quick with these two. So if that there king was to wake, added Tweedledum, you'd go out bang, just like a candle. I shouldn't, Alice exclaimed. Life is, as Tweedledum points out, a strange thing, where we can go out in just a moment. None of us know how long we have, and no matter what we believe or tell ourselves, we're all mortal in this form. This lifetime is just one brief, bright jewel. Alice denies this, but it is the truth. We are all mortal, and we all pass. We must know this so we can hold on to precious gift that is existence. When this card comes, it does not mean you are about to pass. Phew! It is not a card of death, but a reminder of the beauty and the fragility of this existence. It urges us to take this life and make it as beautiful, as meaningful, and as full of adventure as we can. Too many of us live as if this life is a burden, awaiting another lifetime or a heaven, which will save us from the difficulties and challenges of being mortal. Instead of living as if there is forever, or a place better to go to, or as if other lifetimes or existences in the afterlife will be better, live like this life is all you have. Live like this is the very best you can ever experience. Live like this is the greatest blessing, the most treasured gift you could ever have been given. Life like this life is heaven, and your very existence is a miracle of creation. Because we can and we will go out like a candle someday. And when that takes place, the only true measure of a soul is what we did here with this priceless gift of human life. So the divination, appreciation of existence, relishing being alive, making the most of every moment. I don't know why this is making me feel like I'm gonna cry. Accepting mortality in ourselves and in others. Living in the present, feeling joy at being alive. And then just because I will read the reverse, but it didn't come in reverse. The belief that this life has less value than other possible lives, wasting time procrastinating or stagnating, waiting for a heaven, believing life is more a curse than a blessing, a burden to be carried, refusing to believe in your own mortality, or denial of death's presence within life, living as though life is forever. Whew. Well, I'll try and go through a few of the things that, okay, where do we start? So on the one hand, so on the back end of everything that I just saw somebody basically like living a vida loca, like living with no regard to like living as if life is forever, like, you know, life is not forever. I mean, the truth is we don't know when it's our time to go, and as we get older, that becomes abundantly more clear, especially as you know, you get older and then you're watching the people, like your parents get older, and it just hits in a different way. When you're young, it just seems so, it's a thought, a phrase. And then you get a little bit older, or your parents, more importantly, get a little bit older, and it just kind of hits you that, yeah, like, you don't know when you're gonna go. You know, the car accident I got into, I could have very easily, you know, not made it back from that. That's happened a few times in my life. And so, you know, sometimes in life it's easy to, in fact, I think most life is designed just to give up. That somehow it is okay to just exist, you know, or we think that it's going to last forever. You know, I've got time, it's okay, one more is not going to kill me, you know, oh, he'll be there when I get there. All these different phrases are going through my head. I'm trying to pick them out, but, you know, just all these different things of like, basically, meh, while you know, well, you do whatever you do. But the message there is that it's not just about your own mortality, but life is precious for everybody. That was weird. So I just got this, okay, that made literally no sense. I tried to say 5 sentences and act it out all at once. Wow. So I am, oh man. So this might actually go back to the divine masculine in that big change that you're feeling. I just saw like a guy like being outside in the sun and like and like looking and like, I don't know, like I remember when I was going through my awakening, and it was like I went outside and it was like seeing color for the first time. Like everything was so bright. It was like green never looked green before, and like I never noticed all the birds and like all of these like amazing things around me, and I just became so aware, you know, everything was just so vibrant and so enchanting. So that might be another part of the sort of the mortality is, or sorry, you might be going through this sort of, I love life, but, you know, you might be feeling that way. If it's not, then, you know, it, like I said, it could be, well, I got the 3 kind of major energies, which is the one that's like, oh, I love life, and then the one that's like, meh, they can wait, I got this, they'll be there. And just FYI, no, unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. And that's the universe too, right? I think everything goes on the universal sort of time. Your time and my time are, that's your time and my time. Do you know what I mean? When it's a choice you have to make, it's one thing. When it's a, I think, universal change, I don't know if I'm saying it the right way, and I don't want to like start rambling. If you're gonna make a change, and there's like small changes and big changes, right? There's like, will I get sugar in my coffee, or will I don't know, something, will I get married today? Like a big change, right? Like there's big decisions and little decisions. Every little decision leads to a big decision, so technically they're all, you know, important. I just, Oh man. Okay. I will wrap this up. For the DM, and by the way, I should have said too, DM, DF, these are just labels. We all have a divine masculine side, a divine feminine side. If you are balanced, you have access to both, and you use both because you need both, because it's balance. So for the DM side, this is more about like that sudden change, that feeling really irritated with everything, or like nothing's moving, or like anything that you do make a move on is just gonna, you know, blow up in your face. Like there is no good answer. It's about keeping your temper in check. It's about stepping into who you are, not who you were. It's about forgiving. It's about knowing in your heart that any decision that you're making and any change that you're feeling is for your highest good. And I definitely feel the need to say, like I hear tick, 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 tick. So that might be a couple things. That might be one reason why it's making you very anxious and angry and so snappy at people. Could be because, you know, you're hearing that, like, time's passing by, you're not where you want to be. And then last note, on the other side of it, if you are stagnant, the meh, it'll be there when I get there. You definitely need to address your situation in the calmest manner possibly. And for the person going through that, you know, awakening, or yeah, I would say awakening, welcome to the other side. And yeah, I mean, once you see things a certain way or become aware in a certain way, it's almost impossible to sort of go backwards. And so for me, that means it's only up from here. For our divine female, you're definitely sitting in a little bit of more, you know, that mortality, a moment's regret, and then nature communication, which could possibly be even communicating possibly with, you know, spirits or the dead. So for you, I suggest not living in the past, not sugarcoating it, making it better than it was, and also not, you know, demonizing it or making it worse than it was. Really try hard to dig deep, and when you remember something, try to remember your part in it, good, bad, or whatever, right? Try to remember how you sort of were in that situation, but don't live in regret, because there's no point. And whether you're living each day like you're going to die tomorrow, or the opposite of that, you know, we're not here forever. And so if you have a dream, pursue it. Don't sit around and wait till it's gone or it's too late. The worst thing in this world, I would think, would be knowing that I fucked up my future, knowing that I gave away my dream, or knowing that I was just too scared to trust, or whatever the case may be. You know, life is scary. This is a fact. But it takes a really special person to decide that they're going to not only be the best, but give the best. They're going to live every day like it's, you know, their last. They're going to appreciate the earth and the plants and the things around us and people around us. And it doesn't matter how different anything is. What matters is that we're all here on a journey. And so with that being said, I thank you all for watching the video. I hope that somewhere in there there's some comfort, hopefully some advice. If today is the first day of the rest of your life, then choose wisely. You know, every person you bring into your head, you bring into your energy. You know, every time you send an evil thought to someone, or, you know, sit there obsessing over someone, it's putting you in a place that you don't need to be. I also feel the need to say, know your own worth. It goes back to that card with the flowers, like you're worth talking to. And so whoever that's for, just know that it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. You're definitely held in a very, you know, high esteem. And if no, I wouldn't say that. And if, I don't know how to, you're good enough, period. Point blank, period. I know that was weird, but there's stuff, and then you, oh, that was terrible. Anyways, guys, yeah, there's a lot of emotion, like a lot of emotion. But not only that, I don't normally get so many different, I don't normally get so many different energies. So, okay, fine, I'll say, don't pressure anybody either. I feel the need to say, you don't want to scare anybody away. You don't want to, I don't know why I'm saying this. Don't be a chicken. Yeah, don't be a chicken. If there's something that is calling you, go live your dreams. I promise everything will be okay. Anyways, guys, I hope this was useful in some way. Thank you for watching. If you've watched this long, I love you so much. I hope you find some money and then remember me and find some more. Anyways, guys, namaste. Thank you for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, and check the channel out, because hopefully I can stay back on now. And yeah, bye guys.